Is that why you're eating so much durian now? Whenever Dajjal is beating his drum on something, as he's beating his drum on 2012, you must know something is planned. Okay? Since the world is now expecting something big, 2012, so let us not disappoint them. What is it likely to be? I can think of a number of things. I can think, for example, of a nuclear explosion in an American city. I can think about Israel launching her war to destroy Pakistan's nuclear plants and nuclear weapons, and simultaneously attacking Iran to destroy Iran's nuclear plants. I can think about such an attack leading to regime change in Iran, so that the present government, which I consider to be sincere in its opposition to Israel and in its support for the Palestinian cause, that this government is replaced with a government like Afghanistan, Karzai government. And when that happens, then it will fulfill another hadith about Dajjal. The Prophet said that Dajjal will be followed by 70,000 Jews from Isfahan wearing their Persian shawls. I can think 2012 is the attack on Pakistan will not only destroy its nuclear plants and nuclear weapons, but that they'll have to break up Pakistan to ensure that Pakistan can never rise again and rebuild their nuclear capacity. So one part of Pakistan going to India, Kashmir, one part of Pakistan going to Afghanistan for the greater Afghanistan, Pashtunistan going to Afghanistan, and the province of Baluchistan becoming an independent state. If that happens, then China is finished. China can never again be a superpower once Baluchistan becomes an independent state. Why? Because there's a Chinese-built port on the Baluchistan coast facing the Gulf of Oman at a place called Gwadar. The Chinese intend, and the Pakistanis have now agreed, that Gwadar will become a naval port, not just a port, a naval port. If it becomes a naval port built by the Chinese, maintained by the Chinese, then Chinese nuclear-powered submarines and Chinese nuclear-powered ships can now have a fighting chance to patrol that area and to protect Chinese oil import. Because without oil, China is gone. But if the attack on Pakistan takes place and Baluchistan becomes an independent state, then the first fruit of that NATO attack would be a US naval base in Gwadar. If the United States gets a naval base in Gwadar, China is finished. The other things that can happen, not only that they take over Libya, so that they're able to establish their military presence in Libya. So when Israel attacks Egypt in 2012, the attack will come from both sides of Egypt. Egypt will be cornered. But finally, that by 2012, maybe before that, but by 2012, they're able to get rid of the regime in Syria. And the Arabs who are now fighting, like they did in the First World War, and they were deceived, fighting in the First World War in the British Army, yeah, for freedom, and then ended up with what they ended up with. Those Arabs who are now fighting with American support against the Syrian regime in what I call a Yankee jihad will eventually succeed. And when they succeed and they take over Syria, the implication will be that Russia would lose its naval port on the Syrian coast. That naval port in the Syrian coast is the only access that Russia has for a military presence in the Mediterranean Sea. That's the only one in Syria. And so the uprising in Syria is eventually meant to cut Russia's throat. And that one, Pakistan, eventually to cut the Chinese throat. But that's enough for now. This is the last question. I thank you very much for coming out tonight. And when the lecture is over and Salat is over, if you want me to autograph any books, please do bring them to me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.